This video is for the Truss assignment for the grade 12 barn FSE. First we're going to look at our instructions. It goes through all the items we need. We're going to be using a 2x4, which is 1/2 by 3.5, and a 2x6, which is 1/2 by 5.5. Please note there are 3 supplementary views. The first shows the length of that bottom board, which is 30 feet 3 inches. And the second one gives the distance from the bottom to the peak, which is 6 feet 9 7/16. And the other one gives the angle for our 2x6, or 1/2 by 5.5, of 21.6 degrees. You have the option to rotate that board using that measurement, or you can figure out other ways to do it. I just want to give you the most amount of information possible. Okay, so we're going to look over at our instructions. The 2 main dimensions I'm looking at is this bottom board, which is 30 feet 3 inches, and the top board, which is 17 feet 3 11/16. So I'm suggesting that you start with those 2 boards. Here's my 30 foot 3 inch. It's my 2x4, measuring 3.5 by 1.5. And this board is not to the dimension, the 17 feet, etc. I made a little extra just so that I've got some room to trim. And then you'll just edit that component. So I'm going to remove the dimension tags or layers, and then we can work from here. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the supplementary view that shows that height, 6 foot 9 7/16. So let's go over here, and I'm going to copy this board because we're going to need more than one 2x4. First thing I'm going to do is make this unique. Otherwise, your changes will be felt in all the other copies. Let's go into edit component mode. That's 6 feet 9 7/16. Let's find our midpoint. Okay, so 6 feet space 9 space 7/16 inches. There we go. That's the height. Okay, so we've gotten started. Let's look at our supplementary view. That gives the, I'm going to rotate that 21.6 degrees. Okay. Let's grab one of these. Bring it on over. .6, enter. Okay. Let's see how this lines up. Okay. Okay, let's grab this along the top line and get it to intersect with our top line here. If it doesn't quite work for you, move it around. Okay. Okay, let's move it this way. There we go. Now it's touched. Let's see if we can just get that to move down. Okay, endpoints there. Now I suspect we got a little too much hanging off this way. I only made this 19 feet. So let's kind of bring it over this way. Okay. Okay. Now what we can do is we can trim this up. And I'm going to start with the very top. Let's go into the edit component, but let's make this unique. Edit this. Now this line is outside of the active, so we're going to draw over top of it, and we're going to make this disappear. Okay. So we've got the first part. Now let's go back to our different views. So this is 17 feet, 3 11/16 from the point. We've just finished the point, so let's get our measurement tape out, and 17, 3 11/16. Okay, there's our mark. Now I made that measurement outside of the active, so when we move this, this little measurement is going to be hanging in space. That's okay. If that's not something you want to see, make sure you do that measurement inside edit component mode. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Let's see now. Oops. Let's just rotate this to see what. See, yeah, it's not. Let's give it a better perspective. There. Okay. Push this over. There we go. That'll work. Okay. So we've got that created. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to copy that and place it on the other side. Okay, now I obviously can't find a flat spot on this thing. So the best way to copy this without it kind of going everywhere is make it blue. Place the rotator flat here. Don't bother touching there. Make sure this is blue, flat, and we're going to rotate this 180 degrees. Okay. Let's grab the point, and corner and corner should intersect, like so. And it should look the same. There we are. Okay, so let's look at some of our supplementary views. I think we're pretty much done with that. So now let's go back to our instructions. This gives the location of this intersection point, which is 7 feet 6 3/4. So let's use that. and that's from the edge. Okay, let's go in edit component mode to do this. Now, this is a mirrored image, so we're going to do the same thing over here. Using that measurement there, over here, 7 foot 6 3/4. Okay, that's our intersection point. At this point, it's worth adding there is an additional supplementary drawing which shows the angle of the interior boards and also the vertical height where they intersect. Those are some important bits of information. So I'm going to start with that line height there. So I'm going to go over here, that's 2 1/4 inches. Okay. And whatever I do on this side, I'm going to do on the other side. Okay. Now that supplementary view tells me the boards are 38.3 degrees. So I'm going to grab my board over here. Now obviously this board is going to be too long, and that's okay. Let's make sure it's already unique. It is. So I'm going to need more than one. And make this one unique. So they're each going to get turned 38.3. And oops. Make sure you make that blue if you're going to move it. Okay. Let's grab this and stick it right there. Or what you could do, yeah, just do that. There we go. So that placement is good. I'm going to edit this. Now let's push this all out of the way. Okay. And edit this over here. Okay. First board is in place. Let's grab our second board. Okay. Get that to intersect. Now it's worth mentioning, if you are having trouble kind of getting this to move down, just intersect it here, go into edit component and push this down if that becomes a problem. Okay. Let's edit this component. Let's push this stuff out of the way. And I'm going to leave that for now. Or actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to trim that at the midpoint, that middle line there. So let's just go here and to here, and let's push this over. Okay. Now, this drawing is symmetrical, so all things being equal, we should be able to take these, copy them, rotate them, and place them over here. So let's do that. Copy this. Okay. Make it blue. While it's blue, place this flat on the ground, like so. The rotator flat. And I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees. Let's see. Intersect the corners, and that intersects correctly as well. Okay. So let's make this one blue. Copy it. While it's still blue, let's rotate that 180 degrees. And grab it by a corner. So that should intersect with this corner. And it should blend nicely up there as it does. At this point, we can remove that middle line. Now I made that inside this portion of the component. Okay. Now is the time to add your dimensions, but I'm not going to do that for the demonstration. What I am going to do for the demonstration is we have a series of individual components, but you're going to want to be able to put this on your barn as one component. So now what you'll do is you'll go over top of this, and you're going to make this a component. So now you can move this as a whole. Now at this point, and any point after, you're going to have to keep in mind that if you want to make modifications, you will have to go edit the component. And let's say you want to edit this, you'll have to go edit component once again to edit that. So you've got components inside a component. That's important to keep in mind. That's it.